Clubs are dumb. There, I've said it. I'm sorry to offend those of you who love clubs. I have baggage with clubs. One morning in 4th grade, I got to school and saw that my favorite frenemy, we will call her Hildegard because revenge is sweet, Hildegard had hung signs in our school with her minion, whom we shall call Buffy. Hildegard was a very good artist, and she'd made these beautiful locker signs that said KHK Club, Kids Hate Kim Club. My ratted 80s bangs wilted a little bit that day. So clubs and I did not have a great start. Years later, at my graduation from college, I was inducted into an academic club. It had Greek letters that I can't remember. My dad was super excited about this because apparently this club is really fantastic and some people know what it is. Dad was so happy about it all that for years I just didn't mention that the Greek letter club had brought exactly 0 benefits to my life. I get newsletters about alums who've published academic papers, no rom-coms, and they ask for money sometimes, but my Greek letter club was a bust. I knew in 4th grade, and I know now, that clubs are dumb because they automatically push people out. The circle gets smaller, not wider, with clubs, and if you're not on the inside, the circle hurts. The longer I'm alive, the more I realize we just do better when we make the circle wide. When we open up to each other and ask more, not fewer people to the dance. But that kind of thing has to be intentional. We have to decide to open the circle wider because it seems like our default is to peel off into camps. When I was a brand new mom, one of the camp divisions was breastfeeders versus formula feeders. I'm sure you young mamas now are way over this and I applaud you, but man, that debate was fierce when I had Ani 17 years ago, let me tell you. Anna, who refused to swallow and would only take breast milk out of a bottle. I swear that child thought her first lullaby was the sound of the breast pump. It was so defeating, being a mechanized cow. Anna might watch this someday, so I'm just gonna stop there. I was so exhausted during those early months of motherhood, and I wish that frothing evangelistic lactation consultant named Deborah would have said to me, you know, you don't have to forfeit your Phenomenal Mom Club's membership if you decide this is too much. Formula babies are also loved. Deborah had her camp. Our knee-jerk as humans is to divide into camps and clubs, and really we all just need each other. We need each other to be different and unique and weird and not alike, but all connected by our love for each other and for the God who is the very definition of stubborn, ferocious, circle-wide-open love. The best way to open the circle is to dip your toes in some authenticity. As my grandpa would say, be your own ding-dang self. It's amazing how hard this is. When I was starting to write, I had an idea of who I thought a writer was. A writer was someone who sat by a roaring fire in an attic and wore an ascot, swirled some sherry. I didn't exactly own an ascot or sherry, but I had this idea that a writer was someone serious and dark and a little tortured. So I forced myself to write stories that were serious and dark and a little tortured. You cannot find these stories on Amazon, but you can find them buried under a tree in my backyard, because no one will ever publish them. They are horrible. They are not me. I was a grown woman, but still totally holding on to junior high ideas of putting people into camps and boxes. I thought there was a formula, and I needed to stuff myself into that formula. I thought I was supposed to be this woman, a woodland nymph, emaciated, a writer girl who wanders in the forest, waiting for the muse and usually crying. And really, I was this. I wonder if God laughed about my identity crisis or if he winced. I was taking something he made and trying to erase entire sections of it. He wired me to write stories that encourage and uplift and make people laugh or maybe cry once or twice. My stories won't win literary awards because humor doesn't usually score big at those things. But there's still a spot on the shelf for them, and there is a spot in the circle for me. There is a spot for you. Let's not revisit junior high. It was enough to do it once. Let's let go of the boxes and the camps and the categories. We don't need you to imitate your neighbor or the person you saw on Instagram or your sister or some weirdo idea like the one I had in my head. We want you to be you, no matter where you are in the process of figuring out who that is. A global crisis is the perfect time to remember this. We need each other. We're different. We are tackling, or not even tackling, this world and the news and the uphill climbs very differently. We process loss differently, but we are all neck deep in losses. In the last week, I've talked with people who've lost jobs, financial security, health, loved ones, promposals, track seasons, travel plans, safety, and homes. We are all neck deep in loss. We have to give each other the freedom to process and to walk through these losses in many, many different ways. I will close with this. This is my favorite coffee cup. I am 44 years old and I am a brand new coffee drinker and I love it. Just ask my kids.
Okay, guys, how does your mom feel about her coffee?
Oh my gosh. She's obsessed.
I'm ridiculous. I embrace it. Have you tried this stuff? It is amazing. I love it. Best moment of my day every day. Sorry, children who are a distant second place. And here's the thing. I want everyone to know how great this stuff is. Once you've tasted the real thing, you can't go back. I can't possibly keep this to myself. That's the kind of club work we need to be doing more of. Let's open the circle wide to the Grace Club, to our Love Club, the club that says Jesus is enough and he sees and he knows. That is a club worth joining. Just keep the doors open wide and no mean signs held guard.